Hello there everyone, I80386SX, and welcome to the guts, or the anatomy of a Concerto battery. Last video, I busted this thing apart crudely, but it was done. So, what are we going to do next? Well, let's follow the script, and let's rebuild this sucker. First, before I do anything, I always take a picture of the battery before any kind of work. And let's mark where the terminals go. So we got ourselves this is a really unique one in the way it's, at least it feels unique to me. A minus. Oh, we got fish paper on this one. Oof. Well, I know this is a minus, so by process of elimination, this is going to be a positive. Positive. Negative. This one's a negative. This one's a positive. Negative. Positive. Positive. Negative. Well, this one's going to be fun to mark off, but there's a positive, negative, negative, positive again, negative, positive, negative, and positive. Well, there we go. We're marked. So that's step one right there. Is documentation. Take a picture of that again. Now we're going to flip this puppy upside down. And you just got to know that the thermostat and fuse go where they go. So if we're going to flip this puppy over, we're going to look at it from a bird's eye view, because that'll probably be the easiest. So this third cell in, here's your fuse, which goes here, which goes probably just not a bad idea to do it like this. And I always print pictures before I start any work, of course, and I will go into what we will need shortly. Let me print this off. Yeah, it wants to fire. Just to be on the safe side in case I get turned around, because I do have a tendency to do that. Let's mark this side too. So negative. Yeah. And look on this side. Never assume anything. Positive. Positive. Negative. Positive. My printer sounds like it's having a come to Jesus meeting right now. Positive. And negative. Let's take a picture of that too. Remember folks, disk space is cheap. With this being one of the issues with this printer or battery is that we have one shot. If we get that one shot wrong, you can kiss the whole thing goodbye. And we're going to have another come to Jesus meeting potentially with the printer. Alright. It's starting to come out. Hold on here. Actually, anybody who works in IT should know better than to trust a printer. In terms that everyone understands, it's like trusting a fart. You just don't do that. We're printing document right now, and it's thinking about it. It says it's printing document. Oh boy. So while we're working on that, of course you need a spot welder. I do recommend this type of tape here to hold things together. You'll need nickel strip. And we're going to just use this stuff here. This is an Amazon special. There you go. That's what I'm using here for today. It did print. As for our cells, we're going to go name brand on this one. They're also the first ones I could dig up, so it makes sense. We're going to use these Panasonic. This is HHR 380A. I got them from Mauser. I know that's a name I throw around all the time, but I am a first-time customer there, believe it or not. For a while there, they didn't have these batteries, so I just skipped them, and I went to a company called Tenergy and got their 4/3 A cells. I even got a set of cells from Only Batteries up in Montreal, Canada, or there's probably a French way to say this, Lithium, Quebec. It's probably not pronounced that way, but if you basically replace the M in machine, replace that M with an L, that's how it's spelled. So, anywho, we're going to try to reuse components if at all possible. That makes things a little bit easier for remembering where things go. At least for me it does. And that, I don't want to waste a thermal fuse, or a thermostat for that matter, especially if they're still good. I have yet to come across one of these that are actually legitimately bad. And these aren't all that easy to find either. And unfortunately, Compaq cheaped out here in one little aspect. They made all the wires black. And that may be a problem, the way I just did this, because it ripped a lot of that nickel strip off, but we'll see what happens. We are going to do an extra precautionary step here, and for those that watch my other videos on battery rebuilds, you'll notice that I am going a lot slower than I normally do. This is a one-shot deal. If this one does not go well, we're making things a lot worse. This is a high-risk thing here, so extra caution. Not like lumber. Oh, you could just buy some new boards at the store. No, once this is gone, it's gone. And oh boy, this one leaked really badly, so. And it is this. My old trusty needle nose pliers doesn't even want to grab that. It's so much corrosion on it. This is terrible. It is just not grabbing it at all. This one's really bad. I hope I can rescue this. It's coming out now. board is off. And there you go. The board is off. Probably could clean that connector up. Let's get our fuse and thermostat next. These are the ones that I hope come off smooth. Because if they don't, we're screwed. Even more so on the fuse. The thermostat, I probably could have fixed one of mine from... They fit the LTE 5000 batteries, the ones they make, the hibernation CMOS battery. But it'll work on here too in a pinch. Yep, this is a 70°C one, and those are also that, so that would work fine. I ain't worried about that. If we can save it, let's save it. The corrosion got this one pretty good too. But I think it is salvageable, and that's the key here. Yep. And on to the fuse. You know, I gotta say, I kind of like the way that Sanyo listed this battery. Or the way they labeled it was kind of interesting. Like half the label's here, half the label's there. It's kind of unusual, but you know, I guess it works. Yeah, this one, I don't know if the tape is holding things in place here or what, but it is really tight compared to the other ones I tore apart. You know what? First thing is first. Get this one out of there. We don't need that anymore. Finally got something underneath there. Had a tiny screwdriver roll under the table or shelf behind me somewhere, and I don't feel like digging for it right now if I don't have to. Ooh. Depending on where this battery's made, I may have to say something smart out here. Oh no, I'm getting nervous about this one. It just, oh my goodness, I am very scared of this one. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We might have a 4th of July display if we're not careful with this one. Because those spot welds around there are really good on this one. And soldering a thermal fuse is a real risky adventure. Oh man, is that ever under tight. Now, my general adventures with Concertos have been very unforgiving. Why would this one be any more forgiving? Alright, we got that off. We survived. I think I can salvage that. I hope I can salvage that. I don't want to solder a fuse tonight. So, I'm trying to figure out what I did here. This is crazy. Pictures are king. Wow, this is just not, does not add up here. That's why, because I had it upside down. I think it's something along the lines like this, no? Forgive me, I'm all turned around right now. So here's, well, we'll use the labels are our friends here. So we got that, followed by that. There we go. There's our old battery right there. Now what's left of it? Well, it's off camera now, but you get the drift. Now I have a lot better idea where things are going to go, because some aspects of this worked out, some not so much. We'll work off the pictures a little bit, because it looks like that's a little bit more straightforward. So we're going to build this side first. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. It's a straightforward, straight shot. So in theory, it should work with little to no pain. And I had some holders here. I don't know if they're going to come any good. Well, they're not doing me any good right now as I can't find them, but if I find where those holders went, I was going to try them, but it doesn't look like I can find those quickly, so we're going to, the show must go on, rain or shine. So first thing is first. The Panasonics do have them, the polarities measured correctly, or they have them already labeled. They should be correct. Otherwise, we're going to have a real issue on our hands. But first thing is first, let's connect. And these nickel strips might actually be too thick for this. So we're going to find out. If they are, that's okay. Yeah, they're a little thick for this. All right, let me go get the thinner ones there. Or say narrow ones, not thinner. The Tenergy ones had wider, or a little bit wider if I remember correctly. So we're going to use these. That's perfect. So let's cut one of these open. I wish these were a little bit thicker, but it is what it is. And we're already off to a bad foot. I made that one way too short. Still working like I worked with Tenergy batteries. So probably a little bit of an unfortunate miss for Panasonic here. But if the quality is good, that's more important than, well, we have a narrower thing, right? Let's get the spot welder. And just a little, just ever a little bit of a spark there. I always like to do 2 applications of spot welding, just to be sure. Better safe than sorry. So, now we get to flip this again, and we get to do it again. Try to keep this as straight as possible. I know it's not the easiest task in the world. That's why I wish I had those little holders like we use for the 18650 cells, but I can't find them, so this is what we're going to work with for now. Come on. I'll admit there's probably a better way to do this, but and if you buy these in bulk, the price is a lot better. I think I bought a 30 pack of these in the, was either 25 or 30. And once you get into like the 10s or 25s or 30s, I think they're a little bit over $4 a cell. You can't beat that price from Mauser. You really can't. And they have locations all over the world. So that's a no-brainer to me. All right, we get to do it again. Nothing against Tenergy if the Tenergy folks are watching this channel, if I for some off reason. I don't know why they want to be watching this channel, but welcome if you are. Oh, we're going to have some waste on this one. That's too bad. Throw that over there. A little bit of a spark one on that one. I may have not put this one in a spot that I wanted to put it in. All right, so that's attached. And we could do another one. One more. Look at that, I almost fooled myself on this one. The only downside of these Panasonics, you gotta be real careful how you cut these nickel strips. All right, so we're halfway done in theory. Bad news is that was the straightforward side, so I don't know if you want to call it halves or what you want to call it, but we're getting somewhere. Don't lose the documentation. But at this point, I am going to put some of this temperature-resistant tape on here. It is used in sublimation, which is very, very hot printing, if I understand it correctly. I have to ask my wife, she does that more than I do. I don't know the first thing about crafts. And if you do leave this stuff on here, you know, it's okay. It really is. This is high temperature stuff. You can take it off at the end, but I like to put it on there as that just keeps things a little bit more stable when you're working with them, especially when you have to attach the two battery packs together, because right now we're making packs of 5. If Compaq was smart, they would have done what they did with the 5000 series and just make it look like 5 longer cells and not these 10. But, you know, what do I know? So there you go. We're halfway done if we go strictly according to battery pack rules. So now, I don't know what side I want to do here exactly. We'll do the stuff involving damaged goods later. So, yeah, let me think about this here. Okay, so we got that, like that. We gotta do that. Yeah, I think that one grazed the edge a little bit. Oh well. But, needless to say, we are well connected. Give me another cell, and let's continue on. And not in love with the way that attached, but whatever. It's not exactly centered. And these tack weld a little bit differently than the Tenergies. So, now, we should be left with the fuse part of our story here. So, how that's going to work, I don't know yet. But it looks like our little fuse is going to go from this cell over to this cell. So that's get attached first. Might even be easier just to do something along the lines like that, but this is going to be a fun one. I probably should have done this first. May even want to do the negative side first. And deal with the aftermath later. As the issue is very complicated here, as we got to somehow hold this thing on. And with nickel strip being busted as much as it was on this one, this is where I wish I had 3 hands, but no such luck. So we got to be real careful. We don't dare hit any holes. If you hit the hole, you're going to wish you didn't. That's kind of what I want, I guess. Will it stay there is the question. And we gotta be real diligent here and not hit a hole. We hit a hole, we're gonna know about it. Or if we do that, I may turn up the intensity on that one. Just because I don't think it attached all that well. There we go. So I think we should be okay now. Now, we gotta flip over and do the negative side. This one is going to be fun because I have very little room to work with, but we'll figure it out. All right, we're a resilient YouTuber here. We gotta be smart about this, as unfortunately my fuse, I think I bent it in a stupid way somewhere along the line, maybe as recently as a few seconds ago. That should be all right. No fireworks. All right. I'm not sure how well that one's going to hold up, but that's okay. So now we got positive to negative with the thermostat. I almost called it a fuse again. I gotta stop doing that. I'm very nervous about this one because there is a lot of hole there. But we'll try. This is going to be a very interesting one to do. And I'm going to repeat it for probably the 30th time, but I am really taking my extra time on this one. Remember, it's not a sprint, it is a marathon. I think that's about par for the course of where the original was, so we'll try that out. Really try not to hit any holes. We'll try to flatten things the best we can. And pray a little. Please pray for a YouTube channel named after a processor. Nope, that's gonna hit a hole. I want no part of that. Let's flatten it out a little bit more, if we can. I just don't like the way that's going. That's a little bit better, I think. That's that damn, those damn holes make me so nervous. I'm expecting 4th of July and it never happened. Alright, so that's attached a few times. So now that should make this one a little bit easier to work with. Keyword is should. Very little working room on this one. Very little room. All right, that's attached. That was the most intense battery rebuild I've had in a while so far. It's not over yet. I think the worst of it's over, but it's not over. I don't want to say if you can cut the tension with a knife, but it's one's got me, still got me going. We're not anywhere near done yet. And hopefully I don't have to remove this tape after the fact. I don't know yet. I don't think you have to. Alright. So the two sides are together. Not perfect, but I think that can be fixed once it's in the pack. So now we gotta attach our two sides. And I want to double check something here. Now, it's probably getting annoying at this point, what I'm doing, but it's just the way it goes. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I may have messed this up. Well, we'll see. Well, I think we should be good. So now if I have my everything precise here, be able to join the two packs that I made. And that's probably not good. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a little bit longer one for that, and these little short pieces we're gonna toss. Oh, found my screwdriver, that's the good news. I also found a very dead cockroach or a bug of some kind. I'm not sure what, but yeah. Welcome to my world. And I did not measure this one very well, so that's my fault for doing what I just did. Just cut it right around there. There we go. Well, I should cut it right there. No problem. If it's still wrong, then you hear me say a lot of four-letter words. Well, I have the still on setting 4 here, but that should be okay, right? All right, very disappointing, that last one was. Okay, so now we should be able to bend these two sides. So you got something along the lines of this. So something like that. So we're getting there. Now it's not a bad idea at this point to tape off the ends that you know you're not going to use. That's where this stuff comes into play yet again. If you're really lucky, the fish paper, whatever it might be called, might be a value from the original battery. But we'll use some 2021 components here. The year we all want to forget, along with 2020. Just don't tape over the spot you still got a spot weld yet. That's all. Not a big deal. I cut it a little too long. There was absolutely no scientific measurement with that whatsoever. That steel Udex W Bills professional bad example line. Definitely qualify for that tonight. And I have to bend this side. I don't want to bend this anymore than I have to, but we're going to have to here. There you go. So there you have that. Now we got to attach the two ends. And this one screams fun. Let's flatten the ends out first. And it looks like there's some ends that are still exposed, so I'll try to deal with that the best I can. Because the way this bat is stupidly built, in my opinion, we'll have some problems if we don't address this. Yeah, this is stupidly built, so we're going to address this in the way with a little bit more of this tape. You can use electrical tape, but I do caution you, it does add thickness very quickly, and space is a premium in these batteries, as they pretty much are in all batteries, but alright, so there's that side. Maybe we attach this first. Alright, and that's the wonderful. This one's going to be fun, as there's really little to no working room on this one. Alright, it's attached, so okay. What do I do with that tape? Right in front of me. Okay. Gonna have to slow things down here a little bit, folks. Yay. Yeah, we'll be safe. We'll tape this off a little bit more. I don't think we added too much thickness to this just yet, so I think we should be okay. Alright. Fold her over. In an intelligent manner, that is. It's okay. It's not my best work, but it's okay. Somehow, some way, we gotta attach the positive leads now. And what I am going to do actually at this point, if I can do it, we're going to take out the multimeter, make sure we actually get voltage through this thing before we do any other work. And so I think you can see that. There we go. Ooh. These are charged pretty good. See, I guess that's a testament to buying from places like Mauser and DigiKey. Because Mauser and DigiKey, places like that, versus like eBay. And I don't want to bash eBay, there's a lot of good stuff on there, and that's my primary mode of selling battery goods. Places like that have oversight, and they know what's in their inventory, they know how old it is, they know what part of the world it came from. eBay, unless you have somebody that does care, like me, you're going to have an issue where potentially oh, you're using old cells or using counterfeit cells. It's a game of cat and mouse on eBay. And the one thing I didn't photograph, and I wish I did, was how these were exactly attached, but I think we should be fine. Bend that puppy over. And we are soldered. Spot welded. Excuse me. All right. Since the originals weren't taped off or anything like that, I'm not going to worry about it on this one either. God willing, God forbid, we can get rid of this thing now. And let's start towards our little adventure of putting this thing back together. And this guy is the underside. Yeah, this may work. Nope, we're good. We should be good so far. There's 2 plastic tabs you got to worry about. And I assume it has to slide in somewhere. There we go. So we're slid in. In a way, it's a genius design. In a way, it's a stupid design. Let you judge on that. All right. It fit together pretty good, I guess. Now, the billion-dollar question is, I'll have to do like a hot glue type application on this one. But it's fitting together pretty good. But this one is going to be a little bit more complicated as the way it fits in there. On the LTE series, when this cover comes off, I got away with just taping the sides, and I just slide it in, and the keyboard actually holds that cover in place. It was a kind of a dual purpose type thing. I don't have that luxury on here. So for testing purposes, I hope I don't have to hot glue it. I'm hoping that something like our tape here will suffice until we know that it's good. And you know what, this, so far so good. We just gotta be careful not to tape the leads over when we do this. That's the only thing here. I think that's good. Oh, we've just missed the leads. Mostly together, mostly serviceable, mostly. It's definitely bulging out. So now we gotta dig our good friend the Concerto back out, and let's see where this takes us. Let me clear some of these tools off out of the way first, and then we'll do that. We don't get our pictures anymore. It's kind of how I feel about building a Tesla battery. I feel like it'd be a monumental disaster. Except with the Tesla battery, the difference is you break those, you die. If you screw one of these Concerto batteries up, you'll feel like you died. And I don't know if the machine turned on yet or not. Turned on. Now you see a little bit of the reflection on my work light. Let's see if I can turn that off. Yep, we can. We'll keep it in DOS for now. See, it does say the battery is in question mark mode, so it probably has to calibrate before we do much of anything. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So we're gonna plug her in. We'll see if it takes a charge. Smoke test! Recharging. We're borrowing all sorts of UXW build terms tonight. So yeah, right now it says 0, but I imagine this will go up significantly once this actually has some time to charge. This is my first adventure with Panasonic cells, so I'm looking very forward to this challenge and seeing how this handles. I probably, come to think of it, maybe shouldn't have experimented with them on this particular machine, but we'll see. So for the time being, I guess I'm going to stop this video, and we'll catch up with you, provided any significant news happens, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's running off the battery, so we know that the circuitry is working, so we'll check on it in a little while. Alright, so according to Compaq's battery little charger here, we have 2 hours and 45 minutes on this battery. I don't know how long that's actually going to be the case, but it definitely does say that it is now running off the battery. And just like that, it went up to 3 hours and 45 minutes? Okay, that's interesting. And it just keeps going up. That's funny. AC line status, battery status high. Well, we'll see what happens and we'll go from there. And battery life is absurd. Great if they do. I'm definitely going to buy Panasonic if I get anywhere near that, but but there we go. There's your battery. And we'll see what we get. But it looks like this is going to be a successful build regardless. Alright, we are finally at 0. This was at battery, running on battery for, to combine it, was somewhere between 3 or 4 hours. I tried to play some of the games that were on the machine yesterday, but I got tired, so I brought the machine down, and so then I messed with the power settings and left it on some more. The hard drive still spun down randomly and spun back up for whatever reason, but so that probably stretched the battery life out a little bit. I'm going to continue to leave it run, but that's going to be about it for this video anyway. There's one little thing that happened too. When I retired for the night last night, I turned the machine on and it decided to go into hibernation at some point, and it recovered successfully from a hibernation. So that also tells us that the RTC battery is working properly as well. Now, I'm not sure. There's one thing I'm not sure about with that hard drive spinning up and down. I don't know if that probably stretched things out, of course, but it's almost telling me that the Panasonic cells are a lot better than the Tenergy or any generic stuff you may find. No disrespect to Tenergy, but you know, the Panasonic cells seem to be holding up really well in this machine. So I'm going to leave it run. We'll see what happens. That'll complete our calibration once we do. So at this point, if you have any questions, comments, or constructive criticism, I know somebody said use plastic tools to open up the battery. I will be trying that in the next one. You know, feel free to leave them in the comments section. As always, thank you for watching.